against CNN's exclusive reporting that the White House Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus, had discussions with his counterparts at the FBI requesting that the FBI knock down that reporting about contact between Russia and the Trump campaign. This is something, though, that the FBI refused to come out and do. Let's bring in my panel, Errol Lewis, CNN political commentator and political anchor for Spectrum News. Maria Cardona is also with us, CNN political commentator and Democratic strategist. And Dana Lash, a spokeswoman for the National Rifle Association and a conservative. Thank you all for being here very much. Dana, let me just get your reaction to this. The White House says, look, we weren't doing anything inappropriate here. However, CNN has multiple sources telling them, and if you just look at the guidelines, you're not allowed to have the chief of staff calling a deputy at the FBI and within the Justice Department saying, you know, here, come out and say all of this just isn't true. You can't. They can't do that with an ongoing investigation.
Right. Well, Poppy, thanks for having me. If the FBI says that there's nothing, the same FBI that exonerated Hillary Clinton, if they say, look, that there's nothing here, then I tend to kind of want to go along with where they stand on this.
Yeah, but they didn't come out, Dana. They didn't come out and say that. But they didn't come out and say that. They actually said no to the White House request to do just that.
Well, then what's the accusation? Because there have been multiple accusations against this new administration in a million different ways to try to delegitimize it. There's been accusations over Flynn talking to Russians and so many. I mean, look. I mean, the bottom line is that
let's stick with the reporting. We just had a 20-minute. We just had a 20-minute report on all of CNN's exclusive reporting that Pamela Brown went through item by item. And I'm asking you, do you think what the White House did is justified?
I actually don't think that the White House did anything wrong at this point. I don't.
Why?
Look, if more evidence comes out, then by all means, have an investigation, then put pressure on the FBI. But at this point, no, I do not believe that there is anything to warrant any sort of concern at this point. Persuade me, though. I'm completely open to it. I'm not sitting here trying to win a debate on just who's going to be right in an argument. I want to be right on principle. So if there's wrongdoing, then by all means, put pressure on the FBI. Go to the proper committees in Congress. That's why they exist. Go to House Intelligence. Go to House Oversight. That's why we have these protocols in place. Take it there. Put pressure on the FBI. Get an investigation. If that's if that's where the evidence leads, then by all means do it.
Right. So I hear you, and you have a number of Republicans and Democrats on your side calling for investigations, independent investigations into the overall Russia alleged contact with the Trump campaign. However, that's not what the president's calling for this morning. Here are his tweets this morning. The FBI is totally unable to stop the national security leakers that have permeated our government for a long time. They can't even find the leakers within the FBI itself. Classified information is being given to media that could have a devastating effect on the U.S. Find now, talking about find the leakers now. Errol Lewis, he's going after, once again, the leakers and not the substance here. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, some of this is reminiscent for those of us who remember the Watergate scandals. Those tweets sound very much like what was later heard on audio tapes of Richard Nixon saying, find the leaks. He had a whole squad called the plumbers who were supposed to go and try and find the leaks. Every administration deals with this. It is, in fact, bedeviling, I think, if you have something that you don't want the press to necessarily find out about. But to the extent that we've got multiple investigations already going on, to the extent that we've got in every case, what we just heard, sort of a political response, getting to the motives or the alleged motives of people trying to find the truth, that, they just want to delegitimize the election. No, we're way past that point. There is credible evidence from multiple sources, and today's reporting is one more example of it, that there is a serious problem with foreign infiltration into the last election and, frankly, elections before that. And until we get more information about it, everyone who's trying to sort of make it all go away, make the press stop talking about it, make the FBI chase leaks and not chase the truth, I think we're going to have more and more of a scandal. It ends up making things worse and not better. That was one of the lessons from Watergate.
All right, let me get to some other news, because we're also continuing to see these town halls where angry crowds are sounding off on their